Welcome to the plane of magic. Brallin is an adventurer. One day, when he was out exploring the Rogrin Triome, he caught the unusual sight of the flying shark. He decided that the monster would make a great trophy to brag about in his hometown of Lava Brink. Brallin attacked the shark, who was surprised by the puny little human punching him really hard. After a long fight, they ended up bonding with each other. They share their love for adventure and exploration. Brallin and Shabraz is a powerful Jeskai commander that can adapt on different types of strategies. The main goal of this deck is to utilize the will effects and curiosity type of effects to win the game. For 3 generic mana in the red, we get a 3/3 human shaman with an activated and passive ability. Whenever you discard a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Brallin's Sky Shark Rider, and it deals 1 damage to each opponent. This passive ability can be greatly paired with the will effects and discard outlets to continually jab our opponent's life total. For a red mana, target shark gains trample until end of turn. For 3 generic mana, a white and a blue, we get a 3/3 flying shark bird with an activated and passive ability. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Shabraz the Sky Shark, and you gain 1 life. With this passive ability, Shabraz can easily beef up itself and pressure our opponent's life total. You can even snipe a win if this card is on the battlefield. For white or blue mana, target human gets flying until end of turn. Brallin uses his passive ability to ping our opponents every time we discard a card. That is why will, looting, and discarding effects will help us in achieving our goals. Another way we can utilize the effect of the wheel, looting, and discarding effects is from Shabraz. The draw we get from those cards can buff itself using his passive ability. They beef up themselves and keep on pressuring our opponent's life total until we draw onto our combo pieces, which makes Brallin and Shabraz an essential piece at every stage of the game. The upside of wheel effects is we can dig through our deck. However, it may bring a great advantage to our opponents. The wheel effects can make them discard their hand and can draw them new hands, which gives a possibility that our opponents might draw interaction with the newly drawn cards and might interrupt us while we are executing our combo turn. To prevent this from happening, we run Alms Collector. He has the ability which can remove the downside coming from the wheel effects. If an opponent would draw 2 cards or more cards, instead, you and that player each draw a card. The best thing about this card is it has flash, because you can use this card as an interaction to draw spells or Consecrated Sphinx to include you with the card advantage that those cards bring. Discard Fathers will be one of the key pieces of the deck to continually trigger Brallin's passive ability. That is why Seasoned Hollow Blade and Ghostly Pilferer will be a great asset in the battlefield. If we need a blocker when we are focused fight by our opponents, Seasoned Hollow Blade will be perfect for the job because he can become indestructible when you activate his ability. Need a card draw engine and a constant attacker? Ghostly Pilferer can constantly pull off that duty. Not only is he a great discard fodder, but also a great attacker, because of the evasion he can provide for himself. There would be times that our opponents will be trying to search their deck for answers and interactions to our combo. A great way to foil their plans on stopping our madness is to limit their search using Aven Mind Sensor. He can restrict our opponent's search at the top 4 cards of the deck. We would always face against commander-reliant decks like Najila, Yisan, and Urza, or card advantage commanders such as Tasiger, Trashos, and Demna. A great way to slow or shut them down is with Granite Magistrate, to prevent them from casting their commanders and delay the advantage that they bring. He can also stop value coming from flashback cards and Yawgmoth's Will, or stop other win cons such as Underworld Breach and Food Chain. We can also steal their commanders using Gilded Drake and use the advantage they bring to ourselves. Gilded Drake is one of the most popular cards in EDH. and most of the time they steal our commander Brallin because he is a part of our combo. That is why we run Glinthorn Buccaneer as a part of our alternative plan in winning, cause he also has the same passive ability as Brallin Skyshark Rider. He also has an activated ability that can trigger his passive ability. If combined with Curiosity, Ophidian Eye, or Tandem Lookout, it will create 2-card combo that can ping our opponents to death. Being countered when you are about to combo off is annoying. It oftentimes leads into a counter war, and most of the time our opponents team up just to counter our combo. A great way in preventing this scenario is playing Grand Abolisher. He can prevent our opponents from casting spells and trigger abilities during our turn. We run looting effects to trigger Brallin or Glinthorn Buccaneer. That is why we run a lot of looting effects to consistently trigger Brallin Skyshark Rider and Glinthorn Buccaneer. The best among those cards are Burning Inquiry, which can also affect our opponents, and Fateless Looting, which can also be flashback at any stage of the game. Wheel effects can also trigger their abilities. Wheel of Fortune, which can give us new 7 cards. And its blue counterpart Windfall, which can give us new cards equal to the number of cards a player discarded this way. When paired with Lion's Eye Diamond and Underworld Breach, they often turn itself as a win con by decking our opponents out. If our opponents were able to cast their win con, such as Stasis Oracle and Tainted Pact, a great way to prevent them from winning is through Angel's Grace. It prevents our opponents from winning the game, and until end of turn, damage that would reduce your life total less than 1 reduces it to 1 instead. Or we can just cast Silence to prevent them from casting it during their turn. We run a lot of engines and value cards in the deck. These cards will give us value, which will help us assemble our win con and win the game. Mystic Remora and Ristic Study, which is the best blue card draw spells in the game, which will give value to us every time our opponent casts spells. Smothering Tide to give us value every time our opponents draw a card, and can give us a minimum of 1 treasure every turn. If we need to steal an artifact or even dig for cards, Dak Phaeton can provide us those needs with his first and second ability, and can steal permanents once we get his emblem. Narset Parter of Veils to dig through non-creature and non-land cards, and stop card draw engines from our opponents. Teferi Master of Time to trigger Brallin even in our opponent's turn. He can also hold off a creature for 1 turn, creatures like Najeela, Kenrith, or other creatures that are essential on the battlefield. We run a lot of counter spells to disrupt our opponents when they combo off, or give us safety when we are about to combo off. That is why it is important that we run the best and cheap counter spells so we can cast them even if we have low mana count. Most of the time, we will be focus fired by our opponents due to the deck's consistency and card advantage. Our deck does not run a lot of creatures, which makes spot removal and a huge bounce spell an essential removal spell to help the deck survive from aggressive style strategy like Najeela or decks that attack to value with Dimna. We did not run Chain of Vapor cause we don't want to give our opponents a free removal spell for our commanders. Since we don't have green, our natural option for ramping out are artifacts that will help us to operate even if we have low land count, and help fix our colors even if Blood Moon and Back to Basics is on the battlefield. We run 30 lands to consistently cast spells, fetch lands to help fix our colors, and can also help us fill our graveyard, which can be used for Underworld Breach. There are some utility lands which can help us if we flood out. Cephalid Colosseum to dig through the deck, and can even trigger Brallin to ping our opponents, or even beef up Shabraz and pressure our opponent's life total. Hall of Heliod's Generosity to recycle enchantment cards from the graveyard. Our best target for this ability is Underworld Breach, which is our huge recursion and can also be a part of our combo when we try to finish off the game. We run a couple of recursion spells that can help us recycle some permanents or spell on the graveyard. Sevin's Reclamation to return any 3 mana cost or less permanent. Our best target can be Underworld Breach. Underworld Breach is our best recursion spell cause each non-land card in the graveyard has escape. The escape cost is equal to the card's mana cost plus exile 3 other cards from your graveyard. At the beginning of the end step, sacrifice Underworld Breach. The best part about it is escape mechanic does not exile the spell after you cast it from the escape ability. The best card to pair it with is Lion's Eye Diamond, which can produce a lot of mana. This also serves as a part of our combo in the deck. You will be needing Wheel of Fortune on the graveyard, Underworld Breach and Lion's Eye Diamond in your hand. Just make sure you have a lot of cards in the graveyard, so you have enough cards to pay for the additional cost of escape. Cast Underworld Breach and Lion's Eye Diamond. Crack Lion's Eye Diamond and add 3 mana of one color. In this case, choose red. Cast Lion's Eye Diamond and exile 3 cards from your graveyard using escape. Do this 3 times to create 9 red mana. Cast Brallin from your command zone. Continually cast Lion's Eye Diamond to create enough mana to spam Wheel of Fortune in the graveyard, which will trigger Brallin's passive ability and killing our opponents for game. Another way we can win is through a discard outlet, Brallin, and a curiosity effect that is attached to Brallin. With a discard fodder and Brallin attached with a curiosity effect on the battlefield, discard a card making Season Hack Blade indestructible. Brallin's passive ability will trigger, dealing 1 damage to our opponents. Curiosity will trigger, letting us draw 1 card. Repeat this process until you pin your opponents to death. The tutors will help us consistently cast these spells every game, but if all else fails, we can just beef up Shabraz the Sky Shark to pressure our opponent's life total and kill them through commander damage. Which is decent because Shabraz has its own built-in creature evasion. In general, Brallin and Shabraz can get out of hand very quickly, especially if they are left unchecked on the battlefield. The deck's looting effects help us gain value, which makes us in a better position as the game gets longer. At this part of the game, the deck's capabilities and capacities shine. This Deck Probe episode is dedicated to Eat More Tide Pods. You rock! Thank you for allowing us to use your list and answering our never-ending queries. Once again, thank you, and we really appreciate your support to our channel. If you want to check Eat More Tide Pods deck list, please check the description. Every month, there will be an awesome subscriber and supporter of our channel and will get a chance to feature their CEDH deck in our channel. Please comment down below and subscribe to participate. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell to keep you notified when I upload videos. If you want me to keep making this type of video, please hit the like button so I would know. You can also support our channel by following our Facebook page, The Plane of Magic. Subscribe to my Moxville account, Master of Disaster. If you have questions, suggestions on how I can improve my content and my audio, please comment down below. All comments will be highly appreciated because it will help our channel improve and grow. Or contact me via my Discord account, Master of Disaster. Thank you and welcome to the Plane of Magic.